Hello everyone, this is Angie at Sew Chicken Scratch, and today I'm going to show you how to make a triangle pouch. I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, these are some of the supplies that we're going to be using to make the triangle pouch. I do have a free PDF over on my website. It includes all the supplies and also a link to them where I purchased them. And then it also has the measurements for the pouch that we're making today. And that is a free PDF over on sewchicnscratch.com. Okay, so here's the fabric you're going to need. 2 pieces of the outside fabric, 6x6, 2 pieces inside, 6x6. You need 4 pieces of interfacing that measure 5.5 by 5.5, 2 lightweight, which is the 931 TD by Pellin, and then 2 of the 987F, also by Pellin. You need a zipper. You need a label if you use labels, a lobster claw, and then the tab is made with 3 inches by 1.5. The first thing you're going to do is press on the interfacing to the back of your fabric. You always want to put that scratchy side down on the back side of the fabric. And I'm going to use just a silicone mat here just to make sure that I don't get any of this interfacing on my pretty ironing board. So I'm going to turn this over and then just use my little mini iron here to press that. Now, if you're doing a bunch of these, I always use the Cricut heat press because it's perfect. It takes 15 seconds and it gets the job done really quick, and you can do multiple of these at one time. It's also easy on the wrist to use the heat press, but I know that not everyone has one. So today I'm just going to go ahead and show you this using the iron, and I will fast forward this so you don't have to watch me do all 4 layers. While the iron is hot, we're going to go ahead and make our tab. So we're going to fold this over just like that. And then fold this in. And fold that over. Ooh, this silicone mat is now hot. Okay. Okay, we're going to have to sew this on the left and the right side, but we'll set that aside for now. Okay, so if you watched my video on how to make the zipper bag, this process is very similar to that. You're going to make sure that the zipper pull is facing down on your front fabric, okay? So it's facing down, and you're going to pin it or clip it. Oh, I still say pin, but it's clip. And so that's how it's going to look right now. You could go ahead and go stitch right down here. I'm going to take a chance of maybe missing this. The reason I say that is sometimes this can dip down and then you're left with a hole in the bottom of your, in the bottom. I think this is straight. Just when you're done sewing, my advice is make sure that you caught all of the fabric on both sides. And they look pretty straight, right? Okay, so I'll see you at the sewing machine. So for this part, we're just going to use the edge of our foot, which is about a 1/4 inch seam. You do not need the zipper foot at this stage. You will later, but not at this point. I'm going to start sewing on the zipper part and then go on to the fabric. Okay, so now we've just stitched right across there, and what you're going to do is open this up, press that down with your fingers, and then we're going to take the other side, this one here, we're going to place it down like that. We're going to make sure that zipper pull is facing that fabric again, and then this is where you could really not line this up properly. So I'm just going to turn this over for just a second and line this up. Yeah, and hopefully this makes sense. I can see that's a little short there. Okay, so now we're remember, we placed the front fabric, and see, I can see right here that I'm off. That's why I turned that over. So I want to reposition this. So this is a good mistake. This is gonna show you what mistake you can make, because it really does kind of make a difference when you make these if that's off. Now, this is where we started, was it this direction? Whoops. Okay, you get to see all my mistakes today. It's a good learning lesson, right? So now we need to add the lining fabric right on top. So again, the zipper pull is down because the front fabric is facing that. And we want to place this on here, lining that up. If you don't get these lined up, you can have a hole in your pouch. So that's why I'm explaining this very thoroughly, okay? So now we're just gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna go stitch straight across. Okay, same thing. We're gonna start sewing on the zipper part and then sew onto the fabric. You do want to back stitch. Okay, so now let's open this up, and we are going to take our iron and press these flat because we want to go stitch straight across. So I'm going to get my ironing board again, and we want to make sure that we kind of open that up like that. Okay, I'll see you at the sewing machine. Okay, so now we are using the zipper foot. So I'm going to remove this foot and attach the zipper foot. There's lots of different zipper foots. For this stage of this project, this is the zipper foot that I like. And what I'm going to do is line up this edge with the edge of the zipper, and I'm going to start sewing on the zipper and then go on to the fabric just like earlier. Okay, while we're at the sewing machine, let's go ahead and sew our tab here. I am using my 1/4 inch foot. We're not using the ends of this, so that's okay that they're not getting stitched. I'm lining this up to the inside of this foot right here. Okay, so we've just stitched across the top. Now what you want to do is turn this so that the zipper pull is at the top, and you're going to make sure you're just working with the front fabric. You're going to take your tab that you just stitched across, and you're going to feed it through the lobster claw, and then bring those ends together. So this is how it's going to look on the outside of the bag. Okay, so now you're going to clip this where you're going to sew it. And I like to bring it, remember how I told you that you're not going to see the ends? So that's because we're bringing that up. So I'm going to clip that in place, and we're just going to stitch straight across there. Now for the label, we're going to add it over here on the other piece. And this is an area that I messed up a couple times when I was trying to figure out how to make this, was where do I put my label? So this is where I put it so that it's positioned on the bottom of this pouch, okay? So don't put it on the sides, because then it'll be either here or down here. Yeah, I had several goofs. So we're just going to stitch straight across here and here. For this step, we're going back to the 1/4 inch foot, and I'm going to do the tab first. So I'm going to start sewing off the tab, then go over the tab and back stitch on each side. Okay, so we've just added the lobster claw and the label. Now you want to bring the front fabric, outside fabric, and clip this, and we're going to sew straight across. You're going to do the same thing on the lining fabric. Bring those ends together, clip it. Okay, straight across. Okay, so same thing, we're just going to stitch straight across. Okay, the next thing we want to do, and I probably should have done this earlier, is we want to bring our zipper down and we want to mark it like right there. And I'm actually going to go sew straight across, okay? Make sure your zipper is open when you sew that. We're just stitching this so that we don't accidentally unzip our zipper. Okay, so this next step is the most important tip that I can give you. You want to start sewing at the bottom, not at the top where the zipper pull is, okay? So remember, start at the bottom. Bring this zipper down 3/4 of the way, so right about there, okay? So it's going to go like this. This reminds me of like a sour cream container. That's what I wanted to call this, was a sour cream pouch. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to line up this seam in the middle of that zipper. Now we need to do both pieces of fabric, the front and the lining, but I just want to get these in place first. And so now you want to line up that seam also in the middle of the zipper. And ideally you want this seam to go to the left and this one to the right. You don't want them both going in the same direction or you're going to have a lot of bulk. Now this is the one area that I actually sew with a 1/2 inch seam and not a 1/4 inch seam. So what we're going to do now is go sew straight across. Okay, as you can see, I've got this at a 1/2 inch seam, and I am going to start sewing in back stitch. Okay, you can see where we just stitched across. Do not snip too closely because you will make a hole in your bag or pouch. And ask me how I know. I think I had 3 that I had accidentally trimmed too much. Okay, so now what you're going to do is open this up. You want to make sure that your zipper teeth are in the lining, okay? So line that up just like that. I'm just making sure that this is lined up. Okay, so clip. And then over here, this is the front. So we're going to clip straight across. And then this is the lining. So this is where we need to leave a hole so that we can turn this pouch right sides out. So I'm just going to pin where we're not going to sew. And I'll recap this in just a second. Okay, so we're going to start here. We're going to sew all the way across, stop here, pick back up here, and stitch to there. Okay. Okay, same thing. 1/2 inch seam. Lift your foot up and pivot just a little bit. Okay, so for this step, you want to make sure that there's no holes. And I don't see any other than where we need to turn it right side out. So you can go ahead and snip, cut that zipper, and then go ahead and trim off the extra parts of the tab. Okay, same thing on the corners, trim them just slightly, or not. Like I said, you don't want to make a hole in your pouch. Okay, so now we're going to bring this whole thing through this tiny hole right there. Okay, so then I'm going to stick my finger inside here and push these out. You can use any tool that you have in your possession to do this. Since my fingernails are long, I can use my fingernails. Okay, one more. And I've checked down here at the bottom. There's also no holes down there. And then for the lining, you can use adhesive, fabric adhesive, heat bond, stitch witchery, whatever. We're going to sew it. So I've just brought that together like that. My lining is never really perfect. Everyone that gets my bags or pouches or whatever, the lining is not perfect. It's on the inside. I don't really feel like it has to be perfect. But now we're going to go over there and we're just going to stitch like a 1/16 of an inch just to seal that closed. Okay, so just like our tab, I'm going to use the inside of my foot here, which is like a 1/16 of an inch. You can see that fabric is just to the left of that opening. Okay, so now we want to trim these loose threads that's on the lining. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. I like to say it's not perfect, but it's handmade, right? Hopefully that camera's focusing. Anyway, so now you're going to push this inside here, just like that. And then, voila! Isn't that so cute? And see, our label's at the bottom. And here is our little triangle pouch. Okay, so you can peek inside there. The way that I'm going to mail these is I'm going to fold it down just like this. And I will give it a good press on this side and this side. But if you ever receive one of these from me, just put it back on your ironing board and press it because it does get a little bit wrinkled. Okay, so here's 3 different sizes of the triangle pouch. We've got the little one here, and I have some lip balm and some hand sanitizer. So you can clip this right onto your purse and you can easily access those items. In this one I have my earbuds. Now my earbuds already have a clip, but if you didn't have this kind of case, then you could put your earbuds and some gum maybe in there and clip this so that you can easily access it. This one you could put some Halloween candy in there, and then this one, this is the largest one. I have just tissue paper in here, but you could fill it with polyfill and just use it for decoration, or you could fill it with loads of candy, right? Okay, so that wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget about your free PDF over on my website.